Jared Goff in his 5 starts against the 49ers over his career. He is 0-5 with a 21 QBR, 5.8 yards per attempt. That is not good enough to beat a 4-interception Brock Purdy.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
We are just a few days away from one of the most epic games that I think we're going to see in a minute. The Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, squaring off in the NFC Championship game. I'm ready. Hopefully you're ready. Let's go.
You're built for this. You were built for this, man. And look what you guys did. You went out there, and it's another hot team that we knocked off.
The Detroit Lions are knocking on the door of the Super Bowl for the first time since 1991.
That's a way to mount up, man. That's a difficult team to beat, man.
And there's the snap. Blitz comes. Mayfield back, loads, throws. Pick up the Lions. Intercepted by the Lions. Intercepted by the Lions. Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes. Derek Barnes. Oh, baby. 1:33 to go. The Lions are going to San Francisco.
That's 2. All right? That's 2. We got 2 to go. With a bye in the middle.
They head west this week to take on the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game for the 3rd time in a row, 4 of the last 5 years now.
Love out of a shotgun, deep drop, pressured, gets chased out to his right, will throw on the run back, middle, it is intercepted, go down Dre Greenlaw, and the 49ers will host the...
Hey guys, I just got to give you some context here, okay? Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit of a party pooper here. If you're a Detroit fan, I would love to see Baltimore-Detroit. But Jared Goff in his 5 starts against the 49ers over his career, he is 0-5 with a 21 QBR, 5.8 yards per attempt. That is not good enough to beat a 4-interception Brock Purdy. So if Jared Goff is going to have to play lights out, there's literally zero compromise.
The NFC title game next Sunday. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
These two teams did not play each other this year. That's fantastic. Makes this matchup that much juicier. Mountain of good matchups to get through. You can agree,
Hell yeah, dude. These matchups are crazy. Aiden Hutchinson against, they're obviously going to get against Trent Williams at least once or twice. That defense, again, the grittiness of both teams, to be honest with you. Neither of them really give up. They're built amazingly. The fact that the Lions have had such a quick turnaround is baffling, and Dan Campbell, in my opinion, should be Coach of the Year. But regardless, man, this is going to be a game. And, boy, if it ends up Baltimore-Detroit, I am so here for a Vegas Super Bowl with Baltimore-Detroit.
Disagree with the order, add, subtract in the comments section. First up, Christian McCaffrey versus Detroit linebackers Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell. 49ers offense operated on an 8-32 run-pass split for this season.
Oh, Christian's unbelievable. He told me coming out that play was going to score.
High formation, toss to McCaffrey, big hole, and he runs out across the 30, breaks a tackle, he's gone! Touchdown!
Man, as a former Panthers fan, I would love to see that man get a ring. Christian McCaffrey is one of the most dynamic running backs we've seen in a very long time. And, God, what a perfect system for him to be in.
So that makes the Lions' top defensive priority, and there are a lot of them, but it starts with CMC. San Francisco now 11-1 after last week when he runs for 75-plus yards. Last week versus Green Bay, almost.
Man, that's what you like to see, man. Kittle out there cheesing for him. One of the things I do want to point out, though, a lot of people are having doubts with the Niners without Debo. Rumors that he might not be in the game. And obviously, they're a completely different team without him. Would it be smart to sit him in the Lions game and escape with a win to then have him healthy in the Ravens game? Most likely, that's what I would expect to happen.
100 yards, over 5 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns.
McCaffrey scores! 49ers in front!
McCaffrey dubbed the top running back of the year. He was first-team All-Pro.
There is absolutely no way.
Man, you get a quick story. My fantasy league came in 3rd. Very sad about that. But I auto-drafted Justin Jefferson, and I was so mad. I was like, man, I want McCaffrey. Tried to make the trade happen. Obviously, dude wouldn't take it, but hey. What a great year, and what a terrible year for me to miss out on my dude.
Where to go?
Scores through, and takes it all the way down to the goal line.
Baby, man, that was, oh my God. God, dang.
The Lions have not fared well against backs in their 2 postseason games, gave up 4.7 a carry to LA's Kyron Williams, then last week gave up 6.1 a run to Rashad White, gave up 4.8 a carry to Chase Edmonds. Didn't hurt as bad because the two only combined for 13 total carries, but they will see much more than that this week.
Stop the feet, restart him. Good run, Rashad White.
Detroit was third in yards per carry allowed for 2023. Anzalone, 129 tackles.
Dude, that is not good. You're going up against, oh my, if McCaffrey ends up averaging 4.5 yards a carry, man, he's going to run all over you. If this is a 150 yard rushing game for him, 2 touchdowns, it would not surprise me.
For the season, Campbell almost at 100.
They hand to Jacobs again, and that didn't work. Play is made by Anzalone.
They have to play McCaffrey in the passing game as well. He was the safety valve versus the Packers. He went for 500-plus receiving yards this season. Purdy targeted him 12 times last week, far and away the most of any player. Only 30 yards, but better than taking a sack.
Gets to the edge and dancing around. Good work for McCaffrey.
Ooh, that was magic.
Both run games huge in this contest, but can anyone see Detroit advancing without Jared Goff having a good game? At number 2, Goff versus San Francisco's secondary. Goff has been on fire in the playoffs. He's had 100-plus rate games in 3 straight, 287 yards versus Tampa Bay, a rating over 100, 2 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah, in my opinion, I mean, a lot of people crapped all over Goff. When the trade happened with him for Stafford, I understood it, but I did 100% side with Goff. I would have taken Goff over Stafford. I understand the Super Bowl happened, but I am more of a Goff fan. Obviously, he's a completely different quarterback when you get pressure, but I mean, the 2-time MVP, soon to be 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson plays differently when he gets immense pressure. Tom Brady plays different under pressure. Aaron Rodgers plays different under pressure. So I don't think that that's really something to really hold him back. So obviously, the grit and everything of Detroit is really gone into that California boy, Jared Goff. But I'm happy for him, to be honest with you. He'll continue to be one of those guys that I'll support. He obviously has limitations, but overall he is excelling at a rate that Detroit is overwhelmed with. And if he ends up in another Super Bowl, I think that says a lot about him, and that it maybe is a little bit of Jared Goff and maybe not just Sean McVay dragging him there. So,
man, what a play by Jared Goff. He was going to get drilled. He knew it. He understood it. He didn't flinch at all and delivered a strike on that big 3rd down play.
Goff has had as good a year as he's ever had. He guided Detroit's offense to the 5th most points per game, 3rd most yards per game. That offense stacked up against a San Francisco defense, 3rd in points per game allowed.
yeah, man, that... Okay. Adam Peters. They just lost their GM. Niners are going to have a little bit of a flux moving forwards. Adam Peters was a part of a regime that drafted I think it's 15 Pro Bowlers in 4 or 5 years. Like Fred Warner, or obviously getting Trent Williams and all that. But, I mean, they've got some true amazing guys. And, of course, the steal was Purdy, of course. But, man, Fred Warner, if he could become a Carolina Panther, I don't really care what it costs. $25 million? Give it to him.
49ers defensive strength, stopping the pass. They were a top 5 secondary in 2023 last week versus a very hot Jordan Love. Held him under 200 yards, under 6 yards per attempt. Picked him off twice, low 70s rating.
3rd and 8. Love firing end zone, knocked away, and it's incomplete. Charvarius Ward with the big play.
So how about Brock Purdy versus Detroit's secondary? Purdy was solid versus Green Bay, solid in that he got out of the game clean, over 250 yards, no picks, 1 touchdown, an 86.7 rating, and give him credit, he now has a late game playoff comeback under his belt. That's why George calls him BCB.
Here's Purdy, loading up, has a man, and it's caught Chris Conley.
Man, I feel like that Packers defense is just so much better than they are on paper. Obviously, they've got some statistical categories where they really excel at, but overall, I feel like the teams that just play them really just slog through them. Purdy, man, if you lose this game, it's obviously going to hurt you in the long term, but Is it an indictment on Purdy or an indictment on Goff? We're going to see this weekend. I'm super excited for it, man. It's going to be a really, really, really good game.
The top statistical QB this year faces a Detroit secondary that did not perform great against quarterbacks in 2023, gave up almost 350 yards to Baker Mayfield last week, mid-90s rating, 8.5 yards per attempt.
On second down, Mayfield end zone, Evans caught it, touchdown Mike Evans.
Man, the way that Mike Evans could just rip the ball out of the sky is damn near unparalleled.
A Sir Mix-a-Lot big butt, though. The Lions also picked off Mayfield twice. They recently got CJ Gardner-Johnson back in their backfield. That dude is a playmaker.
Intercepted into the hands of CJ Gardner-Johnson.
And big confident Brock, that's what George King of the Jungle calls Purdy, has some cleanup work to do. 2 passes he threw versus Green Bay should have been picked off. One of them should have been housed. It could have swung the game.
Here Purdy looking to throw. Has some time. Rifle.
And I don't disagree with that. This dropped interception by I think it's Darnell Savage. I apologize if it's a different first name, but Savage absolutely was a pick 6 if he catches that in stride. Completely changes it, and we have a Jordan Love in here. To be honest, I'd probably have the Packers going to the Super Bowl at that point. I think that the Packers play the Lions just so incredibly well, and I think they would have won that game. It also would have been really interesting that would have been the 3rd time they've played.
Over the middle, and it picked off. It should have been picked off. It was right there for Savage, who had a pick 6 last week, and he just couldn't hang on.
Still, he now has the knowledge he can overcome struggles before the clock strikes 0. Number 4, Detroit running backs David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs versus San Francisco linebackers Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw.
Okay, I don't care. Give me 2 running backs. Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook would struggle against Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. I absolutely love those men. They are amazing. One day I will interview them. Shout out to them. I wish my Panthers were smart enough to draft y'all, but...
Warner and Greenlaw showed last week why many think they're the best 1-2 linebacker punch. First-team All-Pro Warner showed his hardware was well-deserved. 7 tackles, 1 for a loss.
Reed in motion, gets it on the flip. Jaden Reed, and he's going to go nowhere. Well played by, guess who? Fred Warner.
Greenlaw, 8 tackles, the game-ending INT. He had 2 picks on the game.
Love, the time again. Hard throw, and it's picked off. Dre Greenlaw has it, and there's the big play. The Niners get on defense.
Still, the 49ers gave up 4.1 yards per carry to running backs this season. That was middle of the pack. And last week, they gave up over 100 yards to Aaron Jones on 6 yards per carry.
Jones.
To be fair, though, Jones was sitting most of the year with an injury, so this is him coming back full strength, full rest, full everything. So I think it's a little different, but I completely fair. I also think that the Packers do a really great job of defense and running the ball. Obviously, Jordan Love can throw that thing, and I was one of the first people to admit I was extremely critical of Jordan Love. I did not think that Green Bay Packers found a 3rd straight great quarterback, regardless of my feelings on Favre and Rodgers. But I think you might be close. He may not be the guy, but man, if this year's any indication, he might be.
In open territory, Aaron Jones has a chance. Midfield.
Montgomery, he had a quiet game last week. 13 TDs for the year, though, 1,000+ yards. The rookie Gibbs was the star as a receiver and runner. 40 receiving yards versus the Bucs.
Caught in the middle by Gibbs. Pulling away is Gibbs inside the 20-yard line.
The 49ers held running backs in the passing game to an 84.2 rate, 5th lowest.
Love back to throw. Has time. Now throws Jones underneath. Jones is wrestled down to the ground by Greenlaw.
Gibbs, the runner, 74 yards last week, 8.2 a carry, a TD.
2nd and 2. Gibbs, good move in the open field. Gibbs accelerates, gets to the end zone. He's in for the touchdown.
And the dude that could just barely get his hands on him got snubbed in the Pro Bowl too. Shout out Anthony Winfield.
Matchup number 5, San Francisco right tackle Colton McKivitz versus Aiden Hutchinson. McKivitz is the only lineman in San Francisco who gave up 10+ sacks this season.
Purdy in some trouble. Purdy is sacked.
Hutchinson moves around, so expect him to spend a lot of time across from McKivitz. Being first-team All-Pro Trent Williams lines up at left tackle for the Niners. Hutchinson is on a sack bender, another one last week, 3 QB hits, has a sack in 4 straight games, 8 total in that window.
Mayfield brought down by Hutchinson, and no Nobody put a body on Hutchinson.
Detroit's pass rush overall wasn't a big strength for the year, but they did sack Baker Mayfield 4 times last week.
Pressure comes, Melifonwu. Mayfield got away. Not for long.
How about Nick Bosa versus Lions right tackle Penei Sewell? This is Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant kind of material. San Francisco pass rush, 0 sacks, 34 pass attempts last week. Still, they pressured Love a hefty 40% of his dropbacks. Nick Bosa had 5 QB hits. That's a huge number for one game.
They come on the blitz. Love, back throw, incomplete. Threw it off his back foot.
Bosa, second most QB hits of the season. Sewell only gave up 3 sacks all year. Detroit was tied for 4th in sacks allowed for the year.
We come out here each and every play for your brothers and dominate.
Yeah, it obviously ain't Penei Sewell's fault, so shout out to him, man. I didn't know. 4 sacks the whole year? That's crazy.
On the other side, left tackle Taylor Decker will battle Chase Young. Young, no sacks in 4 straight games. Decker gave up 9 sacks for the year. None in the postseason, though.
Let's go.
Next up, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, Deebo Samuel versus Detroit's cornerbacks. Lions corner Cameron Sutton has struggled bad in the postseason, both games. Lions gave up over 180 yards to Puka Nacua, gave up
Boy, Puka cooked the shit out of that man. I'm sorry, we're not going to dwell on it, but damn, that was nice.
147 to Mike Evans last week, plus a TD. Sutton, the guy he burned most of the game.
Mayfield takes a deep shot now for Evans. He's got it. They'll mark him down at the 1.
Man, he's a free agent. I would kill to have that man on my team, but he is...
Beats Sutton again.
Will he have Deebo to worry about this week? Samuel almost racked up 900 yards for the year, 7 TDs, but he got hit by a brick last week, knocked the blank out of the game with a shoulder injury.
And absorbs a hit, keeps on going. You certainly hope that he's okay.
Yeah, I think you have to sit him in this game. If you can't get past Detroit without Deebo Samuel, no offense, you probably can't beat the Ravens.
Important to this 49ers attack.
It would be surprising if Deebo doesn't play this week, though. I mean, he's Deebo. And it's not just that he's a star. San Francisco's offense just isn't the same without him. Average yards per play dropped by over a yard without him on the field this year.
When he's in there and you like match him with Christian, you switch him around and stuff like that, it makes our offense what I think is different than any other offense in the NFL. So my concern for him not playing next week, I mean, we're a different team without Deebo.
Jennings stepped up in Deebo's absence last week, 5 catches, 61 yards.
Floats one high and it's caught. Oh, what a big play, and Juwan Jennings goes.
Beautiful catch right there. Just magnificent.
Up to get it. It's a first down and a 21-yard gain.
And then there's second-teamer Ayuk, only 30-plus yards versus Green Bay, but over 1,300 for the year.
Here comes pressure. Purdy was protected, and Brandon Ayuk's got the first down inside the 30.
For the year, Detroit gave up a 96.4 rate to wideouts, 24th. Let's stick with that position, though. San Francisco's Charvarius Ward versus Detroit wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Man, Amon-Ra, the sun god, is just one of those dynamic guys. He's one of the good dudes that you can put out there. He's going to go get his. There's an occasional corner that can stop him. In my opinion, Charvarius Ward, Jesus, St. Brown's going to go out there and get his stuff, okay? We're not going to be able to stop him. Anybody for that matter. You might be able to maybe slow him down a little bit, but he's definitely going to go get his catches. And with the running game that Detroit has, you're going to have to respect that running game. So we're going to expect to see Amon-Ra St. Brown open, and he's going to be a very integral part of this win if Detroit can pull it out.
Ward made second-team All-Pro, likes Ricky Nelson, so he'll go wherever St. Brown goes. Had 5 tackles and a pass defense last week.
Fire in end zone, knocked away, and it's incomplete. Charvarius Ward with the big play.
St. Brown went for 77 yards last week, has 75-plus yards in 6 straight games.
St. Brown, end zone, touchdown Detroit, St. Brown.
St. Brown will also do battle with San Francisco cornerback Deommodore Lenoir, their nickel cornerback. He had a great outing versus Green Bay, 5 tackles, 5 targets, only 2 catches, only 8 yards.
It's over with. Hey, get him out of here. Send him back to Texas, man.
The Niners have held wide receivers to an 80.5 rate in 2023, 6th lowest. Cornerback Ambry Thomas needs to rebound, though. He got hit with 2 major flags versus the Packers, gave up a rating over 115.
Protected, lets it fly deep, going from Melton, and he falls.
Yeah, it was 2 DPI calls from what I can remember. Obviously, that blatant one, and the one before it, of course.
Now there's a flag! interference called earlier.
49ers also have Josh Reynolds to chase around. He scored last week. Speedy Jamison Williams had 35.
Boy, Jamison Williams, yeah, might have been a little bit of a bust to start, but he's really starting to come into his own. Obviously, he's got a decent chunk of yards and everything too, so it's not like he wasn't doing anything, but obviously a lot of people expect him to be Offensive Rookie of the Year and all that other stuff, but still dynamic. Just going to take some time.
5 yards, but St. Brown and Sam Laporta dominate Goff's looks.
Boy, Laporta. I know there was the big thing. I think Rich Eisen talked about it. Shout out to them and the boys. And I think a few other people talked about it, about how most people believe that the Detroit draft was terrible. How are they going to do this? And what do they get? 5 starters.
St. Brown had 14 last week, Laporta 11. Laporta was second-team All-Pro this year, 9 catches, 65 yards versus the Bucs.
Goff goes inside, and Laporta's on the run again.
San Francisco safeties, along with Warner and Greenlaw, are a tough draw for the rookie, though. Held tight ends to an 86.3 rating, 4th lowest.
Colby Parkinson gets drilled right away. Jair Brown.
Let's stay with the tight end position. Detroit gave up a 97 rating to tight ends, 14th. They faced the best tight end in the game, first-team All-Pro George Kittle, 1,000-plus yards 2023.
Yeah, I'm going to put him getting close to 100 yards, to be honest. I would probably, if I'm going to do a bet this week, it's going to be Christian McCaffrey, probably 125 plus, 2 touchdowns, probably 6.5 or more receptions from Kittle.
He comes off an 81-yard outing and a score.
Hey, why are you following me around? Is it because I'm cute? I thought so.
Lions 6-3 on the road. San Francisco 6-2 at home with starters in place. These two have played in the playoffs twice. 1957, Detroit beat the Niners on their way to a world title. 1983, the Niners beat Detroit behind some Hall of Fame QB.
Here's Montana ready. Play action.
Some random guy. No, you might have not heard of him.
Fake again. Throws into the end zone. Cut for a touchdown by Solomon. Solomon got it for a touchdown for the 49ers.
The floor is yours, as is the comment section. The final word, our panel of 10s.
Oh, I'm going to stop it right here. Shout out to the NFL for putting this video out, but we're going to look at these. Daniel Jeremiah's got it 34-27 Niners. I don't think that the Detroit Lions can score 27 points. So any of them that have 27, okay, 31, that's not happening. Man, Maurice Jones-Drew. Okay, my pick. It's going to be an easy one. Again, shout out to the NFL for this video. I am taking the Niners. I'm going to take the Niners because I think that the overall accumulation of talent will be able to overcome the Debo deficiency. Christian McCaffrey is going to go off. He's going to have a crazy game. I would expect Ayuk and your other receivers to get involved as well. I would probably, just to be safe, sit Debo. I'd rather lose this game than get him hurt and then get blown out in the Super Bowl. Obviously, Shanahan's a little sensitive to that, of course. And most likely, you're either going to have to verse the Ravens that just came off beating the former world champions, or you're going to have a juiced Travis Kelce, a absolutely on fire Patrick Mahomes coming to your, most likely, I think it's coming to your building at that point. So I'm sorry, Super Bowl's on a neutral site, not your building. I'm taking the Niners. I'm taking the Niners 31-21. Again, I'm going to probably pound that Christian McCaffrey 125 plus 2 touchdowns, and then I'll probably take 5.5, 6 receptions for Kittle. But my name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. If you want to check us out at the socials below, please do that, where I do breakdowns, reactions, and more. Obviously, we're going into the off season, so it's going to be a little bit more interesting things moving forwards. But if you have anything you want us to comment on, react to, or anything, make sure to send me the link or send me a DM on Twitter at Roll Coverage Pod. Otherwise, have a great rest of the day. Peace.